Hello everybody, welcome to USFC 182. Just double checking my audio is working and it looks like it is, which is good. It finally saved my settings, it often does not, because OBS be weird. Let's get right into it. We got Clamino against Pico to start us off. Oh yes, and there was a late joiner, the fungus, okay. Got you. I'm just gonna insert you a row above. I'll just name you the fungus on the spreadsheet. And we'll get you somebody to fight, preferably somebody of your skill level, maybe somebody who lost a fight. We'll get a chance to fight you if we can't find anybody new, and we will go from there. You will have to be patient though, unfortunately I have to put you at the end of the queue, but we will get you a fight one way or another if you're around. Alright, let's get the link out. Internet should be fine, as usual. And I know some people did ask for volume low. I don't know what I can, it's as high as it'll go. I don't know what I can do to fix that. Anyway, as you can see, it can't go higher. Waiting for Pico and Clamino, and then we'll get started. Let me just listen to the stream myself, and I'll see what the volume is like to fix that. Anyway, as you can see, it can't go. Seems fine on my phone so far. Voice is low, but the music was loud. It's not low on my end. It's even getting into the red region occasionally. Not sure what I can do different there. It was high on my phone as well. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, because the volume for me, like, when I raise my voice, it goes a bit into the red, which is good. And it's very often the orange to green, high green. Yeah, it was fine on my phone as well. That's why I was surprised. I'm not doubting that people were experiencing issues. I was just wondering what the issue was. Anyway, Clamino is here. We're waiting for Pico, who I saw in the chat. There we are. As for the sides, as you can see, Clamino will be on the left and Pico will be on the right. Let's get into it. Glad that it's fine though. I can understand, unfortunately, the YouTube music is very often louder than my voice. I will get into the comms as well before people ask. I'm just not in it right this second, but I will be. And Bobo, if you want to join, you're obviously free to do so. As are other people, but I'll try to keep commentators to maximum 2 people. Oh yes, keyboards as well. I think Clamino needs that as well. Clamino took left, Pico on the right, of course. Yep. And Bobo, just give me a ping or something if you want to join the commentator cabin. Because I don't know if it notifies me always when you just join. Or request to join, I should say. When you join, it does. Clamino ends up going with Gideon against Pico's Isabella. So far, a nice exchange of cuts. They both go in there, and big wind up on that cut. Clamino, thankfully for him, was able to get the cut. fast cuts by Pico using that combo, which is rather underused. Probably because it's kind of sluggish. You're kind of stuck on the same plane if you use it. You can't really sidestep, and there we go. Clemino just tanks that hit and delivers a big cut of his own. Isabella's a lot tighter as a character, longer range. Gideon, on the other hand, has these wide shoulder cuts. He is more exposed, but he does hit harder, and he has a bit more HP. Isabella's not a slouch when it comes to power either. You definitely, for both combatants, you really do not want to be taking hits that you don't need to be taking, especially given the nature of the game. Every character can one-shot. But some cuts are more powerful than others, and Clemino scores one. Ooh, Pico just going bananas with that combo. It's actually really fast, it looks like. It looked a little janky for a moment, but Pico definitely deserves it. Again, doubles it up. It's really hard for Gideon to block stuff like that, because his guard by design isn't the strongest to begin with. You really need to play distance with him. Use that footwork to defend yourself. The reason he stands like this is because his hand is a really exposed target if he doesn't, and his saber is rather forward-headed, or forward-weighted. For a saber, anyway. It's not a crowbar, of course, but nevertheless, rather forward-weighted for a saber. So if he tucks it away, his hand is not a target, and he's able to play distance a lot better. As well as charge up those powerful cuts that he's known for. If you were to hold it out like Samuel did, he would easily be picked apart. Especially against the longsword. Nice exchange again. Pico's that combo. Both going for combos. Eventually Clemino scores it. But that was hectic. Really good gameplay by both. I love that they're making combos. Pico cancels the combo there and goes for like a retreat cut afterwards, which was really smart. Keeping distance on Gideon, which Isabella often wants to do. Longer weapon, after all. And perfect snap cut to the head. So Pico scored a point here. Obviously it is best of 5 though, so it is not over. For those unfamiliar with the event, these are all best of 5 fights, and you fight once for the most part. There's odd exceptions where we get losers to fight a second time, or there might be some corruption going on in the USFC to allow for somebody to fight more than once, but for the most part, everybody just has to fight once. That's the nice thing about this event, is it's pretty casual, laid back. It's still intense, of course. I'm not saying the competition is not intense, but nevertheless. Also, I don't know if I switched the names. I did. Cool. Continue. I did it so robotically I didn't even notice. Also, my YouTube is a little delayed on the phone. There we go. Yeah. Good exchange of cuts there. Clemino scoring a flag of his own, and he's gone with Yazuk this time to combat Gideon. Which is interesting, because Pico also switched as he normally does. We could have had a Gideon mirror, but yeah, Pico also switched off Isabella. That's what Pico does, though. Pico loves switching characters. Clemino a bit less so, but I'd say he's a bit of a jack of all trades as far as the sabers go. He's definitely a saber player. Pico, on the other hand, plays everybody. He's really not a character that he cannot play. I don't think Bobo's joining us at the moment. Again, ping me, Bobo. That is a change. It is 3-3 now. Looking fairly even. And actually, Clemino is able to score another one. Nicely done with that lunging. That also has a parry animation, and that thrust is underrated. It's actually a really effective move. You can block attacks with it, as you should be able to. Given the blade position, if you catch it on the strong, you can stab for the face. You can beat it, but if you're too late on the blade beat, what can happen is you get stabbed, but you your blade beat essentially did not allow for you to kill in some cases, or you could kill and result in a double. So it's a great way to secure a hit to the face right away. At a tempo when your opponent might not be expecting it too. So oftentimes the best your opponent can hope for, if they are late in trying to block it, is a double. Which isn't ideal. You really do not want to fish for doubles in this game. That will not lead you anywhere good, for the most part. And Clamino needs one more. Pico trying to feint. He actually did a bit of a double feint there and landed a hit. That was great. Pico going for a lunge now. He's definitely not out of this round yet. And he almost took his hand there, but was not quite able to. I think he canceled it too early, which happens. And Clamino was able to score a round of his own, making this 1-1. Really intense saber fight. The game seems to be running smoothly. Hopefully there's no lag for the fighters. There shouldn't be, especially since they're North American. Certainly not getting any indication of that. They're playing as though everything is fine, so. Pico in top form, and Clamino's also in top form, and as he said, I've seen some great things from him lately. He is not as experienced as Pico, but I would say Clamino now has developed his skills to the point where he can challenge the best on a regular basis. So, it's at the point now where, although you could say it's a bit of a mismatch, this matchup, I do try to match people based on skill level, but although this one is a little bit of one, arguably, because Pico is a long-time veteran, I do think Clamino is good enough now to fight blade for blade here. So I wouldn't normally match these two together, although circumstances made I had to. And I'm actually happy I did in hindsight. I think this is a very dynamic fight so far. That could go either way. Clamino is quite aggressive here, as you should be, and got a hit to the head. Samuel traditionally is a good matchup into Marie. You do have to play him properly, though. There is a risk that you get caught out a bit because Samuel doesn't walk very fast, but his guard tends to compensate for that, as do his wide sweeping cuts, combined with the quick snappy cuts when he needs to be a lot faster and needs to quickly win the fight for the center. Even his auto guard does a good job against the stab, but a lot of the time, if Pico's being precise, he's definitely not making this easy. There's a stab. Snap cut. As Clamino, his goal is pretty simple here. He needs to close in, and there we go. Bypasses the guard with that lunge. Marie's guard is okay. It's a bit better than it used to be, but it can still be bypassed rather easily if you get close enough to her. If you're too far away, though, obviously you're not going to be able to hit. But that's not so much because of her guard. I'd say it's more so because of distance. Her guard really is not. Like, it's good enough, but it's not good. It's one of her weak points, as it should be. The rapier has less mass. So with Marie, it's more about playing distance and disengaging, less about parrying and riposting. But she can do that if she needs to in a pinch. Not as helpless as she used to be. And this is actually down to the wire. This round right here is probably going to be super important, and Pico got it. Nice lunge there. Keeping distance, then quickly using that lunge to interrupt that combo. Great to see Marie viable against a variety of characters, while still not being overpowered in any meaningful sense. She still loses plenty, but she's now become quite competitive. Reminds me of the old days a little bit, which is awesome. Possibly, I don't even know who these people will pick. They're actually quite, both of these players are quite versatile. Clamino more so just plays Saber, but I'd still call him a very versatile player. The Sabers have a lot of different styles and whatnot and moves. Sidestep attempt there, but Clemino knows what he needs to do here with Marina, and that's close in really quickly and take advantage of her superior speed to Cal. This can actually be really awkward for Cal in this matchup. Although I do think Calc is underrated, this might be one matchup where Marina has the opportunity to speed blitz him. And it seems to be Clemino's game plan, more or less. But I like how he's a little bit measured. He's not spending the whole time just pressing forward. He is backing up a little bit on occasion to block some of those long-range attacks. And Pico obviously is looking for an angle, but he's a little bit too slow. We might see this become a 2-2, which I'd love to see. Good stab there in the middle of that attack. Pico just not able to land though. That long sword is a bit of a liability in this matchup sometimes. Sometimes you can have too much blade, especially when you're so close. But perfect sidestep by Pico. That was beautiful. He's definitely going to have to get creative like that to beat Marina. It's not that Marina is overpowered or anything like that. It's just this particular matchup for Calc is a messy one. And that was a great try by Pico, but it looks like Clemino was ready with the backstep on that push. Very intelligent. But with that being said, a lot of characters do beat Marina, so I tend to consider her like B tier. But there are definitely some matchups where Marina can cause you a lot of problems. And this might be one of them. Now, Pico especially must get creative now. Nice back X there. That actually is a great idea here. Go straight to the face. Great way to punish an out-of-measure attack. Or an overzealous attack even. It doesn't even need to be out of measure necessarily. Nice, Pico with some cancels. Now he's looking for an opportunity, but that sweeping cut. Upcut into the shield, but that back X again coming in clutch. And that was a great idea by Pico, but he just was not able to make it work. It is 2-2. Pico has gone with Yazuk. Interesting. Okay. He's trying to school Clemino a little bit on the usage of Yazuk. So this is Pico for you. He switches characters all the time and still does really well. We're gonna end this with a proper saber duel. A weapon fit for a gentleman. More so than the rapier, if you ask me. These pokey, stabby weapons have no place in a proper duel to the death. Nice, yeah. Pico with just simple distance management there, catching Clemino on the whiff of that cut. Given both of these characters have good guards, you definitely need to look for opportunities like that. The feints are actually faster with Samuel Simpson's box, so that was a good idea. But it was not able to land, was not close enough. There's a hit by Clemino there, and another one on the cancel. Nicely done, calling Pico out. Pico some manual feints of his own, and he backs out just as he hits the head. That was beautiful by Pico. Clemino was not able to do much about that flurry of cuts, but he does deliver some cuts to the head himself. 4-4. Feint there, that is actually a dangerous move now, and then the sidestep. Samuel does have a little bit more range, so it's great that Clemino is using that to his advantage. Ooh, that's a double. It looked like Clemino might actually win it, but Pico was still able to secure the hit. Ooh, he cancels the thrust. That might have been a good idea, actually. It might have failed if he continued. Tough to say. But I have a feeling it would have failed. That's probably why Pico did that. And nice sidestep of the thrust, but Pico is on the back foot. That leg void, or not leg void, it's a void. Just a right, that means moving back. And then a cut to the body. At an awkward tempo where he's able to land. That was perfect by Pico. Oh, and Clamino just seemed to be ahead in that exchange, and eventually he landed a hit. Pico not able to get any offense going on his own, and then he goes low before Pico can hit the head. Beautiful fight between these two, but Clamino eventually does take it. Great fight. Great way to start the USFC. So I'll double check the game capture is working properly. Obviously, you guys can see it either way. I just want to see if it's working. Nice, it is. Just so you don't see me clicking off all the time. It can be a bit annoying. Yeah, that was a great fight. Let's get Grid Square and BK. BK kind of pops in and out on the server. He's been with us for a while. Joined the USFC a little bit late today, but we still got him a fight pretty soon afterwards, so. Let's see if he's available. Grid Square needs an early fight, so if he is not around right away, we might have to just get somebody else for now, and then BK will be fighting Fungus or something. But we'll give him a minute or two. Maestro will fight Radzig after this, then I'll fight Plebeian. Castar against Oak. And then next we'll fight Bobo as requested by Nex. By the way, for the two contenders, that is Maestro and Radzig, Nex is also a contender, so we'll have to sort that out as well. But first things first, Nex needs to win that fight. If he does not win the fight, then we don't have any more figuring out to do as far as the who will challenge the champion. We'll just go straight to the champion fight with the winner of that fight. But hopefully Nex keeps that in mind. He is indeed a contender as well. Or actually, we could get Fungus actually to fight Grid Square if he's available too. If BK doesn't show up. Let us know if you're around, Fungus. You were pretty excited to fight from what I saw. So if you are around, I'm more than happy to let you fight Grid Square right now. Just because we need to get Grid Square's fight done right away. I can put you right at the beginning of the queue and get it started. Here and listening? Excellent. Let's get you in then, because I don't want Grid Square to be waiting any longer. Just use that link and you're good to go. So I'll switch up the fight card in that case. The Fungus is joining. And I'll put BK at the back of the queue for now. We'll figure out what we'll do with him in a bit. Do you need keyboard, by the way? Or are you on gamepad? And Grid Square will take the left, of course. Let me know while I change the names what you need. Gamepad? Excellent. Bobo says he'll hopefully commentate. I'll invite you if you're available right
Hello,
now.
ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
Apologies for the late arrival. I had an errand to run.
I see.
Right.
Alright. Join the parsec. We're about ready to fight.
I will. I'm coming forthwith.
And grid square is on keyboard if I recall.
Good. Right. So in this duel, grid square versus the fungus. The fungus, sorry. I mean, that's a bad misreading of his name on my part. Although the bungus is a very funny name.
Yeah.
Grid Square, of course, I played him earlier today in my training for this tournament, and I must say he's a solid player all round. I've never seen the fungus fight before, but he certainly got a challenge before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other players vouched for him that he knows what he's doing, and he definitely does. He had no issues getting into the fight. So.
Strong start. We'll see if such auspicious beginnings foreshadow how this fight will go. But, yeah, brief mistake there. Entering the day guard on Zera is always a bold choice.
Yeah.
Or the high guard, as it's sometimes called.
Yep.
Let's look forward stance here. Assuming the defensive posture.
Ooh.
But Sword's getting tangled up there.
Yeah, was able to force an angle because of that. And get a hit to the hand.
Oh, entering the Fool's Guard, but a nasty whiff there.
Yeah.
And even though he gets a retreating cut, it's not enough. And he wins, and the fungus screams back into the game.
Yeah, his tracking is not the best, especially on a high skill move like that. Block the thrust there.
Yeah. The thrusts are very good between the two longswords. Zera most certainly has the better of the thrusts, but if they don't land, well, they don't land.
Yeah.
And we see Fungus taking a lead. But still early in the game, and it's still early in the set. Still go either way.
Yeah. I like how Fungus is playing this. He's sticking to fundamentals, not doing anything crazy fancy, and trying to find angles to punish his opponent. Nice sidestep again. Yeah. He's actually doing really well.
Indeed. And that's the thing, I know that combo, that's the spearhead on Darda Zera. Of all of his attacks, I think that's the worst tracking. He just goes in a straight line. He doesn't even bother to try and move. A fancy footwork there. But yes, as you were saying, SUBUTAI, very good fundamentals from the Fungus here. I think this is a first-time player as well.
Yeah, especially under pressure too. Like you saw that exchange where he had to be really patient to block those cuts and then punish it. And a lot of new players would collapse under that pressure.
Another sensible defense there against Zera's famous Samurai Slash.
Yep.
I don't know what auto guard protected him from that. It's like a force field stop that hit. I don't know. Attempted sidesteps here. Oh, nice. And a nice sidestep weaving around the stab. Before cutting in. Nicely done. I gotta say, Fungus, for a first-time player, is certainly impressing me.
Nice sidestep there, really subtle. Although he did get hit on the retreat, it was still a really good intention.
It's angry message from Kobold there. Stop playing multiplayer, everyone.
Meanwhile, it's
you can tell it's angry.
Yeah, it's funny.
Exhausting himself with no shortage of retreat.
My max FPS, by the way, so you guys can see if it goes down on the top left corner.
Yeah. I mean, typically in fights it's very stable, but there, nice snap cut. And the Fungus starts off their tournament and their career with a very promising first win over Grid Square. But there's still 2 rounds to go.
Yeah, it's by no means over, but a very impressive performance all the same. He definitely has a really good fight IQ, I'd say. And it's taking him very far. When Zera makes those mistakes, he capitalizes right away. Switch sides, Fungus on the left now.
We'll see if this results in an adaptive change of strategy from Grid Square or a change of character. And indeed it does. Grid Square changes to Isabella. Perhaps trying to copy his opponent's game.
I have to say, I'm surprised he's not using Calc, but maybe we'll see that if Isabella doesn't work here. Ooh, pommel strike, but for some reason, too far.
Did not hit. But didn't get punished either. I mean, if an attack doesn't hit and it doesn't get punished, did it really happen?
Gnarly
Well, that attack
there.
definitely happens. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
The new gore system on full display. Brutal.
Yeah, we might see a bit more of
Square.
Isabella. Ooh.
Oh, yes. Ooh, the pair changing cuts there. But neither giving up. Oh, the fungus responds with a nice snap cut of their own.
Yeah.
And clearly showing that last round was no fluke.
Yeah, he knows that sidestep move that Isabella has, especially in this matchup, is a great idea. Nice.
Attempted a stab there. Deviously punished. And very well done.
Yeah, Fungus has figured out the sidesteps. A lot of new players struggle with that. They play too linearly, but he's not doing that. He's switching it up and sidestepping right when the opportunity is there.
Yes. Oh wow, a double. Fungus will no doubt be happy with that, as they certainly got caught with their pants down in the middle of a dash there. You don't want to dash so close to your opponent.
Nice, again.
Ooh, nicely done. Was that Zverhau?
Not really. It's more like an Unterhau, I would say.
See. I don't speak German fluently, so I can only imagine that's like an underhanded strike.
Yeah.
And we see it again, somewhat.
Yeah.
They're constantly targeting those wrists, which are something of a weak spot for both Isabella and Zera. Attempted a snap cut there. Good square here, assuming a defensive posture.
Nice.
But consistently getting punished after swinging from the hip into his opponent's guard.
Yeah. Those upcuts in this matchup are very underrated.
Well, I'd say against Zera, her upcuts are so lightning quick that even Zera's fastest overhead strikes can't match their speed. And typically, an overhead strike will beat an underhanded strike, but not such the case in that matchup.
Yeah. Especially because she covers her head so well sometimes, those upcuts. You can single tempo somebody with a master strike. Again, beautiful. He's doing great with those.
The fungus showing us that perhaps, could this be an alt account? Could this be Kubold himself? Disguising himself with a new account? Regardless, he played very well.
Fencing or in other fighting games, who knows?
Indeed. Well, there's certainly a prospect, and Grid Square here is on the ropes. Will certainly need a change of strategy or a change of play style if he seeks a way back into this match. Here we go, Grid Square on the left. And picking his old favourite of Kalkstein, he's bringing out the big guns, the German guns, the Wunderwaffe, as Kalk would say, likely. Uncertain about this matchup, though, as it can be quite dangerous for Kalk. Oh, but he gets it done. Nicely weaving around his opponent's guard there with a devious stab.
Yeah, hopefully Kalk's different timing will be enough to leverage an advantage and throw off his relatively inexperienced opponent. Punch there, but nothing after
no punish. I mean, if you just ended the match now, we could call it a domestic defeat.
Oh, again.
There you go. Another brutal stab to the face. I've always wondered what that pouch on his hip is. Is that a water flask or a money pouch?
I'd say it's a money pouch. Or a pouch for spare items, anyway.
Yes, but it does say in his story that he's an adventurer, because Kalk is a... I like the character, but I imagine he's somewhat insufferable as a rich fella.
Ooh,
I heard him described as a historical pirate, but yeah. Fungus not letting the games get so cleanly away from them, but still dying. And
yeah,
Grid Square here running away with a lead here on his main. Doing very well so far.
He might have been unsure about the matchup, perhaps, but I think the lesson here is trust your main.
Indeed. But Fungus won't take that one lying down. Perhaps in a call from the commentators' table. He gets back into the match.
Nice sidestep.
Very sneaky stab there. A very good retreating cut there. Those uppercut retreating cuts, you got to watch out for them.
Yeah, very underrated. Warden, who's an old veteran who doesn't play very much, but he used to be like the best player on the server, bar none. He was known for really dynamic movement, and one of those cuts he was famous for was that retreat B cut. He would throw that when you least expect it and catch your hand.
I see. Well, we see it again. Both of Calc's wrists being badly damaged here, but he's not giving up.
Ooh.
Neither are, even though they're both. Oh, and he's
tired.
exhausted, but he's just barely clinging onto life. As is Isabella. It could go either way.
Yeah, I think the Fungus just let an opportunity slip through his fingers there, but I understand why. He's being cautious. He doesn't want to overextend.
Such cautiousness is being punished, but he gets it done. Barely. Yeah. That could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And with such a tumultuous round, that ties up the set. Grisquare most certainly won't be happy about that. Strong neutrals there from Calc. And a nice stab there, just barely missing her head.
Yeah. The Fungus using a taunt, he definitely knows the controls of the game, and there's a stab.
You very rarely see taunts from new players.
And even a lot of veterans prefer manual feinting, like by cancelling an attack or something like that. Venator, though, does a lot of taunts, so some people do it. So it is rather rare indeed.
Well, you were speaking about the best player in history, but the best player of today is Venator. So if he's copying his habits, well, he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Definitely. Whoa, nice exchange. Nobody hit.
A bit exhausted there. Ooh, but just dying. You never want to trade blows with Calc. He might not have the health to make up for it, but he certainly has the damage.
Yeah. Thrust again.
Attempted a stab there. Badly punished.
Another thrust.
Another attempt at a thrust. I mean, certainly adventurous thrusts, I would say so far.
Nice.
Oh!
Weird timing, but he got it.
Beautiful combo there. I've never seen such a combo.
Yeah. And I think the Fungus tried to punish the first cut too soon. He probably should have let them both get blocked.
Missing death by inches there on that first cut.
Yeah. Another nice exchange.
That one finds its mark.
Yeah. Nice.
And very well played to Grisquare, who's come back with a match of his own. Very well done. Well, I don't imagine we'll be seeing a change of strategy now.
Let's see. We are not done yet.
We'll see. Will our new prodigy fumble, or will they finish the game as they intend to? We shall see. We could have a close one, a dead heat on our hands here, folks.
Bunch of cuts to take space away. Stab attempt, but punished right away.
Well, he's taking more than his space away. He's taking his hand away. My word. He'll not be able to write his memoirs now.
Bit more cautious Fungus, and it's actually paying off so far.
Paying dividends. And that's the thing. Calc, he can throw out attacks all day as much as he wants, but he's got that low stamina. And he'll certainly pay if he gets a bit over-enthusiastic, shall we say.
Yeah. Tried to punish the thrust again with a side cut. Oh, but that big cut comes in deep.
A cut too far, it seems. Or could you say a cut above?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. Too many puns
for the arm too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you wouldn't want that to happen to you. Ooh,
the
and
few
again,
moments where you'd be begging to somebody to just cut the rest of the arm off, just dangling. You just like get this thing
absolutely.
Off.
Yeah. Hey opponent, do you think you could do me a favour?
Yeah.
Oh, and an aggressive dive in there. Still getting punished. And once again, that left arm must be aching. But Isabella just barely hanging on there. Fungus just barely hanging on, but oh my goodness.
Nice.
A skull-smashing snap cut from Grid Square. Seals that bout.
Both trying to catch each other out, but Calc is better at this long-range game than Isabella, so Fungus might need to change something.
Indeed. It's a tricky matchup. That's the thing, if he's a new player, does he have the knowledge to pay the bills? And he most certainly does, with a quick snap cut to the wrist there.
Yeah.
That was a snap cut. Well, I'm calling that snap cut. Whatever. Everything's a snap cut if you want it to be. Nice cut to the chest there. Oh, but trading there on the inside, just barely clinging to life, and Fungus wins that bout. Just about, by the skin of their teeth. Always attempts at these sidesteps from Fungus, and it's paying dividends for them as, yet again, they've made a comeback in this match. Grid Square won't be happy about that. That's the thing, he'll be under constant pressure now to keep them out of winning any more unnecessary rounds, as if they win this, it could all be over. With a retreating stab there. Oh my word. And a quick run around. Gets the job done. That was beautiful cinematography then, did you see it? Calc in the foreground, and that was wonderful. Very cinematic.
Yeah.
This game produces gems from time to time.
It does, yeah. My favorite
Doing a nice
longest
snap cut there to
is
the
where both are evenly matched, but somehow nobody's being hit, and it goes on. It can go on for a minute or more.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the opposite of this current exchange, as Krewbold himself said, they can end quickly and horribly.
Yeah, one more needed for Fungus. Really nice conversion here after getting an advantage.
Yeah. Coming from behind after seeing letting the game slip through their fingers, and beautiful. And with that quick stab, ladies and gentlemen, Fungus wins their first ever USFC. Very well played to both Grid Square and the winner, Fungus. Well played to all.
Yeah, 100%. Some advanced tactics there by Fungus, good fight IQ, and that allowed him to win.
Indeed. But in the meantime, whilst we are setting up the next bout, tell me more of this strongest player of history, SUBUTAI, this Warden, because I've not heard of him before.
Right, so he's a Spanish player, and he's one of the founders of the server. So he's been playing since, 2020, 2021. And there was a time when he just won every single tournament, kind of like how Venator is winning most of the tournaments when he was active. But even more so, like Warden was winning pretty much every single one. And this was at a time when the character pool was limited. You had Marie, Isabella, Jan, Barabash, and Gideon. That was it. And
I imagine he chose Isabella.
Player. Yes, yes. But even other Isabella players could not stand up to him. And the balancing at that time was basically if everybody's OP, nobody's OP. So it was very dynamic. Everybody had sort of powerful tools they could use. But regardless, Warden just seemed to be on another wavelength. And right now, he's still around, but he's not playing Hellish Quart so much. He's actually a pro Tekken player. So.
Well, that makes sense. He ate everyone in this pool, and he said, "I'm going to need a bigger fish."
Yeah.
That was a clumsy metaphor. You know the metaphor where they say big fish in a small pool, small fish in a big pool?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, I was trying to tie that together. You get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, he went to a bigger pool, and he beat them all up. If he's a pro Tekken player, well done to him.
Yeah. Yeah, Warden's fight IQ is on another level, like Meister said. So it makes sense that Tekken is a game he would gravitate towards. Yeah.
Apparently, according to Maestro.
Yeah.
Super friendly. Well, you love to see it. We love a good winner, don't we? We love a noble champion.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, I hope he doesn't return or I'd be toast.
Possibly, yeah.
I'm worried that if the champions repeatedly lost, they might come down a tier or two to the contenders, such as myself, and beat us up. You know, at the moment, the elite are currently happy just to fight themselves in their own little dojo.
Yeah. Yeah, the server in large part is what it is today, thanks to Warden, so I can't give him enough praise. There's others, of course, but I don't mention like Hells for Offenser, some of the other founders like Victorious, etc., that have done a lot for the server as well, but Warden, I think, is the one who sticks in most players' minds.
Indeed. Well, here, once again, we see Couchstein, but against a wholly new longsword opponent. So if he was completely blind, he might confuse the two. It's Maestro versus Sir Radzig. And Radzig gets off to a good start. The devious punish there.
Yeah, glad to see Cal getting some respect. I feel like for a moment people were saying he was trash and disrespecting him, but now we're seeing what he's really capable of on display, and it's actually quite impressive. There might be some matchups that he doesn't like, but there's a lot of tough matchups that he can easily win in the right hands.
Indeed. Oh, I could have win with him, as I'm certainly not the right hands for old Cal.
He's very technical.
Aesthetically,
yeah.
Yes. He is my favourite character in the game, purely on aesthetics. I love the way he fights.
Yeah.
Even the samurai there, that nasty slap across the back.
Yeah. Even as a saber enjoyer, I really like his style, and actually the sword too. It might not be my sword of choice, but I respect it a lot more than the rapiers.
Well, it's easy to respect something more than one respects rapiers. I'll tell you that much for free.
Yeah.
A bolt attempted a retreating leg cut there, but Kauk isn't having any of it.
Yeah. Also, no leg so far has been reported, so that's nice.
Divine. An interesting combo there, but Maestro ends up winning that exchange.
Yeah, Maestro's the master of doubling up combos. If it doesn't work the first time, he'll do it a second time and somehow make it work.
That's the thing. Always try it twice, as the Simpsons told me.
Back wide. Nice.
Oh, and a bold retreating cut there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can work. Well, typically it only works once.
Yeah.
But that's sometimes all you need.
Both fainted there, but Maestro was quicker on the real attack.
Quicker on the draw, if they were cowboys. And a bold decision there.
Nice.
Oh,
okay.
my word.
The blade beat allowed him to get a second hit in.
Fancy footwork there as well, going from left foot forward to right foot forward.
Ooh, Maestro tried something there, and he got hit. Nice.
And once again, Radzig isn't letting this game slip through his fingers. It's all tied up. Could go either way. An eager attempt at a sidestep combo there from Radzig.
Nice.
Oh, but Maestro wins the match. That's 1 round to Maestro and 1 round to Radzig.
Okay, I'll switch the names and make sure they can select, and then I'll head off for just a little bit, and I'll leave the commentary for you until they get back.
You're all in good hands, I assure you.
Yeah, just want to make sure they can actually play first. Cool. Alright, be right back.
Well, the commentator booth sits empty, and I am all alone. But at the very least, I have irreplaceable entertainment. And we see there more than a few combos coming out from Maestro. With an aggressive start to this next duel. Attempted a stab there, not finding its mark. Running, getting punished by Radzig, but he gets in, weaving around his guard with a good left foot forward attack. And that's the thing about both Kauk and Zera as characters. They're perhaps the most complicated in the game, having both left foot forward and right foot forward stances. Not all characters have. Beautiful use of a stab there by Maestro, who gets off to a good start here. We'll see if Radzig responds. Defensive posturing here from Radzig. And a brisk snap cut right to the shoulder. Gives him a foothold. Oh my word, I don't know what he did there, but it certainly worked for him. Seem to completely flip the sword around. Oh, and an excellent punish on that stab there. Backing off just out of range before punishing. Oh, nasty double there. But considering the first attack whiffed, I'm sure Maestro is very happy with such a result. Oh, a touch of lag here, ladies and gentlemen, but it appears to have gone through either way, with Radzig taking advantage. And Radzig, not willing to lose so easily, gets back into the game with a score of 3-4 overall. Excellent stab there with a follow-up from Zera, right into the wrist of his opponent. Oh my word. Can such aggression truly be stopped? Attempted a foot swoop there. Foot sweep, rather. Going for the ankles, it would seem. It seems like Maestro is eager to get a sidestep attack in. Oh my! Radzig just barely avoiding death there with that stab and punishing his opponent beautifully. With pure efficiency, he can't afford to waste a single move. And he doesn't. From the depths of depravity and despair, Radzig has found a way back into this game. But can he seize the opportunity? Nice retreating stab there. Put Zera in his place. And attempted a leg stab. Doesn't quite find its mark, but Zera most certainly does, and Maestro screams ahead. 2-0. Alright, change sides, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not SUBUTAI, so the names won't be able to change for the moment, but we won't let that stop us, will we now? For the ladies and gentlemen at home, simply use your imagination to switch the names around. And a change of strategy from Radzig here as he goes to Marie, of all characters. An interesting choice, as in my opinion, Zera has a fairly favourable matchup into the rapier. Good use of the long guard there, keeping around his opponent's guard. And Maestro once again showing why he's won the previous 2 matches with an early lead. Ooh, nasty double there. But of course, so long as he's not yielding flags to his opponent, I imagine Maestro's happy. And once again, running forward with pure aggression and finding his mark. Ooh, a few attempted a sidestep, but efficiently punished by Radzig, who appears to be on the back foot yet again, but not letting this match slip through his fingers. Ooh, excellent punish there. A stab. But can she capitalise? Unfortunately not. Zera has more than enough health to make things messy and still come out on top. They attempted the running forward technique that has gotten him so much success so far, working yet again. And it appears Maestro's on the cusp of winning in a clean sweep. My word. Seems the man cannot be stopped. Can Radzig make a comeback to save his life? We'll have to see. It would be something impressive if he did. But he has a mountain to climb. Diving in there with pure aggression, reflecting his opponent's strategy that's done him so well so far, but resulting in a double. Not quite what Radzig wants. Entering high guard there. A beautiful punish on his opponent. Baiting out the stab with the poor guard. And then delivering a strike right into the shoulder. Oh, full guard there, getting punished. Or the holy guard, sorry. Although, in my view, you are a fool if you use such an attack. And once again, going for it. And getting punished in exactly the same way. Could we be seeing a comeback? Perhaps. If these doubles keep up, perhaps. It couldn't be any closer. More sensible strategy from Maestro this time. Staying in the long guard and punishing his opponent. And that's all he needs. Maestro wins the bout 3-0. Well played both to Radzig and to Maestro. Now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, as SUBUTAI is the one hosting this tournament, I cannot send out any more links.
Alright, I'm back.
However, oh, he's back. Magnificent. He can send out more links and ping the appropriate people.
Yeah.
Maestro won 3-0. I commentated it. Don't worry about it, is what I would say.
Alright, Plebeian versus me now. Which is exciting.
So I will be commentating once again, and it seems we've seen no shortages of zeros in this tournament so far, but we're about to see a whole lot more.
Indeed.
As indeed, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound zero in this server, because he doesn't weigh much, is Plebeian.
And we're zooming through this event too, which is nice.
Indeed.
Nice, he's here. Castar against Oak after this one. Be ready. And I did check the test
Ladies and
version.
gentlemen.
Unfortunately, no Jakob yet, so. But the moment he is available, even if it's just on the test version, I'll definitely make that available.
Standard affair from both players here, both picking their main. SUBUTAI, one of the best Barabages in the server, and showing evidence as to why that is. But Plebeian, responding with a few attacks of his own, the best Father Zero in the server, bar none, showing us why that is. And if the match continues as it started, then we're in for a close one, ladies and gentlemen. Plebeian acting in a defensive posture here. Matchup-wise, it's very dangerous for Zero here, as he's very weak to the sidesteps and quick counters, and Barabaj has that in spades. Blade beat there, not going to get anything, but that'll do the trick, right through the scalp. Vane attempted to stab there, but somehow his auto guard holds. And he lands a retreating cut to win that bout. Keeping his opponent at a range here. Ooh, they both get cut there, but Barabaj seems a little bit more exhausted than his opponent. But he is known to recover quickly, but I doubt he'll recover from that. And Plebeian here, screaming ahead with an lead. But SUBUTAI finding a way back into the game and getting a foothold. Can he staunch the bleeding? This match so far? It seems he can. The flags are going thick and fast, folks. Both players are aggressive as they are competent. Good posturing from Plebeian there, being at the perfect range to land that strike. Attempted a grab there, I don't know what he was thinking. More than a few points. But they get the job done. The score's nearly all tied up. It could go either way. Oh dear. From a defensive posture, he was punished there the moment he advanced. But he's not going to let that stop him from being aggressive. Oh, an attempt at a stab. Not quite getting him what he wants. Beautiful sidestep from SUBUTAI there. He may not be a deer, but perhaps he doesn't need to be. And both players acting cautious now. Neither one wants this round to end too early. Wow, neither finding their mark there. Plebeian here using his advanced range to try and get the better of his opponent. SUBUTAI trying to get in close, but he can't quite get past that sword. It appears an unstoppable force from this, an immovable object. Oh, but he weaves around his guard after he launches a volley of a stab and wins the bout. That's SUBUTAI 1, Plebeian 0. Very well played to both there. That was a beautiful duel. We'll see if this results in a change of strategy from either of them. Doesn't look like it will. They both return to their characters, but are simply on opposite sides of the board. Early lead for SUBUTAI. He keeps going for that leg sweep, but it hasn't found its mark so far. Ooh, trying to trade blows with Barbage can be a very dangerous thing. Oh, and a sidestep there, going up and around his opponent's guard and down into his skull. Getting plenty of a foothold in this match. Beautiful retreating cut there, tying the score up. Looks like we'll be here for a while. Plebeian getting a strike of his own there. Be happy about that. Neither player wants to have this be himself, I'm sure. Catching his opponent off guard there. Very well done. A blade beat there, but not quite capitalised on. Ooh, an attempt at the move that won him the last flag, but it's not enough, resulting in a double. It appears SUBUTAI is cutting on. Oh, and a beautiful strike there, intercepting his opponent's attack. Wonderful from Plebeian. Score 4-3. We'll see if this results in a greater lead for either of them. And a severe howl there. Very original, but resulting in a double. I suppose the number of doubles just reflect how even this is. Oh, but the sidestep from Barbage beats the sidestep from Zera, as we all see. He is known as the sidestep king for a reason. Though, of course, on aspects of fashion, if I had to give either of them a gold star, it would have to be Zera. Over Barbage. Oh, both getting cut there. Brutality made manifest. Plebeian favouring the left foot forward side of his attacks. Going at another double. And another double. My word. Seems neither player wants to give an inch. And another double. We could be here all day. Well, perfectly even scores and perfectly even results. That's how you know it's good matchmaking. Ooh. A blow there from SUBUTAI, weaving through his opponent's attacks with a nasty sidestep. Plebeian will have to be careful if he hopes to succeed. A nasty cut there to the arm. If he has any more of those, he could be kaput. Have to be careful. Doing left foot forward stance here. Oh, unfortunate. A little lag spike there, but that stab does not quite find its mark and he gets punished badly for it. Oh, but that finds its mark. Nicely done. A sidestep of his own, crushing his opponent. And a beautiful reaction check there. Calling out that his opponent won't be able to react in time. And in a matter of moments, they've gone from it looking dire for Plebeian, for it looking like it could go either way once again. Oh dear, but another stab there. Perhaps foolhardy, being a siren that subdues Plebeian. And SUBUTAI takes the bout. making it 2-0 to SUBUTAI. Change sides, ladies and gents. Change sides. And so far, both opponents have seen very good patience. Neither one wanted to give an inch, as I have said. But that's the thing, if you don't take chances to win, you'll never prosper. That attack not quite finding its mark, but not getting punished either. But that one certainly did. Oh dear. SUBUTAI screams ahead with an early lead. And another! My word. Seems the man cannot be stopped. What will Plebeian's response be to such barbarism? Oh, and calling out his opponent with the most bodacious of attacks. He lays his opponent low. Plebeian getting the foothold into this set. Tempted to grab there. I can't tell if they're fighting or hugging. Ooh, you don't want to do that out of measure. One thing Zero is known for is for having lots of wind up and wind down in his attacks. That stab finally finds its mark, hopefully making up for all the times it didn't. Oh, what a nasty combo there. Having a visit downstairs before having a look upstairs, so to speak. SUBUTAI's taking a lead, frustrating his opponent, no doubt, as the score is 5-2. Will he be making a comeback? It'll be something to see. Oh, do it for the Zero army. Dear. Another attempt at a sidestep there, getting punished by SUBUTAI, who's showing great calculated fight IQ here. But that leg sweep getting punished. And Plebeian at last finding some reprieve. Perhaps a way back into this. If he can fight forward. Another double there. Making us reminisce about the second match between these two. He loves that waist chop. Both players here entering a defensive posture. SUBUTAI doesn't want this game to get away from him, but Plebeian doesn't want to give up a single flag. And we see Plebeian's way of doing things wins out. He'll have to be perfect if he wants to win. Oh dear. It was not enough. And Plebeian takes the bout and the game. Well played to both. It was a beautiful duel to see.
I won the fight, but good fight.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I said Plebeian took it, didn't I? Sorry.
Yeah.
That Freudian slip there. What I wanted to happen with what actually happened. Not that I didn't want you to win, but you both fought very well. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I got a bit carried away, it would seem.
Yeah.
Right, and I think you shall have to commentate for a bit, as I have to go get a drink. My throat is parched.
Yeah, understandable. That's what I did a little bit earlier too. Grabbed a coffee too, so. Yeah, it was good there. Plebeian was going for those blade beat moves, which are fearsome, but I found that back X was able to allow me to disengage from that, which is nice. Like in that last flag, that's what I did.
They stopped being effective there towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah, because if I was still in measure, of course, it would have hit anyway, but the back X allows me to sort of, even if I get blade beat, I can move away from my opponent and lean back. So it really helps get out of the way of those wide swings if I'm just far enough away.
Well, it clearly worked for you, didn't it?
Yeah.
You won 3-0. Although, such a score doesn't tell the whole story. That was a very close bout.
It was, yeah. I had to find a way to make my lead more convincing, for sure. Otherwise, Plebeian could have easily made it 2-2 and even won it if I wasn't careful. Waiting for Castar now. Oak is here right away. And actually, you're fighting after this one, Bobo.
I am, against the next of all people who challenge me in a most friendly way to a bout, and I gladly accepted, as I'm always happy for a challenge. Certainly a solid player, that next. But before that, we have Caster versus Oak and Elix. Oak, our former champion, versus who I would consider a contender. What a solid fighter all around.
100%. Yeah, he's routinely in the top 3 of the rankings, often the top 2, and even top 1 sometimes.
Indeed, and I will return shortly.
Yep. So I gave Castar a tough one again, but similar philosophy to before, Castar lately has been doing really well as one of those rising star players. So ordinarily, of course, I'd probably put Oak against like Plebeian, myself, these sorts of people, Tau if he was still around, but the thing is, we only have so many people I can match Oak against. I like to change it up as well. And so I look at Castar and his record. Castar is doing fantastic and in tournaments lately, so I thought this was a reasonably fair match, much like the Clamino against Pico. So I think we will be surprised. It is quite possible that Castar will not only put up a good fight, but he will win. And as you can see, Castar, you are on the left. Oak is on the right. Ooh, are we gonna see a Denise? No, you can play anybody, of course. Denise is fair game. I know we talk a lot about how broken he is, and I think that is true, but at the same time, he's not a win button. Somebody like Oak knows how to fight Denise, so it'd be fine if he went.
Absolutely.
But I think the main, using his main is wise, though. So I think Samuel will be a good fight.
And few fighters are as solid as Samuel now, as he most recently received buffs, did he not?
Yeah.
We'll see if it's enough to give him an edge against Oak.
Yeah, like the stream, if you have not already. Oak is telling people to like it. It does help with the algorithm.
Indeed, and we always love appealing to newcomers.
Yeah. And lately my USFC streams have been doing pretty well. I've been getting 400 views plus with a lot of them, so that's nice.
Yeah, not quite PewDiePie numbers, but maybe we'll get there one day.
Yeah. Yeah, for my subscriber count, like the engagement to subscriber count ratio is really good, so I can't be unhappy with that.
A nice push there. Do you ever tell you're a teacher, if I'm not wrong? But you ever tell your kids at school that you're a YouTuber?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever told the kids at your pupils that you're a YouTuber?
No, I do not. Because they'd probably laugh at me. They'd be like, well, you're not popular at all, blah, blah, blah. But
I said, well,
I do play games with them from time to time, though, when free time presents itself. Usually chess, though, not Hellish Quart.
Well, naturally. I mean, I don't think you could share Hellish Quart and keep your job if you teach teenagers.
Yeah, it would be questionable. They might need. I might even need to send like a permission form to their parents and like, this game has blood and gore, blah blah blah. Can your kid play it? Sign here, you know, because those stupid regulations like that. So I get why though. There's definitely stuff where it should be there for, so I get it. But
absolutely. And a nice cut there from, I don't even know who's playing, Castar. It's very useful that you put the names at the top of the screen. I don't even bother keeping track of who's playing most of the time.
Yeah.
If I was a commentator in real life, I would definitely lose my job. I'll say that much.
Yeah. I guess that's a large part of why in sports they put the names on the jerseys and stuff, the numbers. That's also helpful for the commentators as much as it is the viewer.
Oh, and a nice leg sweep there. A double leg sweep even. He'll not be doing any marathons anytime soon.
Speaking of which, I don't follow soccer very much, or football as you call it, but Canada got its first point in World Cup history, so I'm pretty happy with that against Bosnia.
Really?
Tied with them, yeah.
What, is Canada typically a bad team? I mean, the World Cup's been going on a long time.
Yeah, but we never score a point. Canada's pretty bad at soccer, traditionally speaking. So
Evidently. If it's the first time you scored a goal in history, oh my word. What? How? What, it's been going on for centuries, like a century?
I don't know.
You've probably been in every... What the... I don't believe that. Canada as a team has never scored a goal.
Well, I think it's a point in the rankings, but yeah.
Oh, so they never won a game.
Yeah.
It never won a game is almost as bad. Oh my word. I feel bad for Canadian football fans. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, they do exist. We're more of a hockey nation, but there's definitely a lot of people watching it, especially now, so they're really happy.
Well, they must have been, because I heard in the Olympics they only got silver, and that's the only sport they care about, right, hockey?
Yeah. And it was so close, too. It was a fantastic game against the Americans, but we lost by just a little bit in overtime.
They probably cheated, what I'm hearing.
There were some questionable ref calls, but I'd say we got some questionable ones in our favor, too, so in earlier games, so it's like, you know.
Caster exhausting himself here. Oh dear. And you don't want to be exhausting yourself against the former champ. He'll take your lunch money. But regardless, focusing back on the duel itself, this has been a beautiful confluence of skill between all players. We've seen some incredible exchanges here.
Yeah, just throughout the event, I think all these fights have been really high quality.
I agree completely.
And the weird thing is, Kubel has not made any changes to the game, so I'm not sure why they seem to look so much better, but I'm not complaining.
I think it's simply the skill of the players have been improving, perhaps.
It could be, yeah.
That's certainly my opinion. It is a tight-knit community, if ever I've seen one, so naturally
Also,
you'd think the veterans would crush... Oh yes, go on.
Yeah, 100%. I also think the connection is better today. Like, better than it's ever been. So, that's helping.
Have you ever heard of the Angry Video Game Nerd?
I have, yes.
Yes, well, he had a skit well back in the day about the dust goblin that lives in all technology, and you got to blow him out, otherwise he'll cause some lag. So you've finally gotten rid of your dust goblin.
Yeah. Ooh, nice hit.
A nice snipe there. Got to say, even after all this time, the game, in terms of spectacle, still improved, still impressive.
Yeah, it is. There's really no game like it. Like, I know some people are saying this game's just like Tekken, or it's arcadey, it just has physics, and it's not that different. I disagree. This game is very different.
Indeed, it's novel. Certainly.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. Tekken has some similarities on the surface, but they're surface level at best, I would say.
Indeed. And unlike Tekken, this is a good game. Shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, even some Tekken fans would agree with you with the current state. So.
Yeah. I keep seeing thumbnails from Tekken YouTubers. I never even heard of the game, but you know how they say rage sells? Well, the Tekken players have been very angry as of late. I'll tell you that much for free.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Warden. He went from this to Tekken, which must have been hard.
Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I imagine the community is a lot more toxic, as it is with most big communities, but it's not a Tekken-only thing. But that just is how it is. You should see the Half-Sword Discord, too. Yeah. Like, Half-Sword is way more popular in this game, but since the developers went radio silent, like, that Discord is just a cesspit of people getting angry.
Well, I was in there briefly before the launch of the game, and then the game released and I was disappointed, and I left forthwith, but it appears I dodged a big-time bullet on that one.
Yeah, 100%. It is better now, but I hesitate to recommend it because it's possible the developers just ran away with people's money. I need to see a progress report before I recommend it again.
That's the thing, they made a patch, or rather they just made patch notes that was saying, oh yeah, we'll improve the game. And then they never did anything, and that was several months ago. So I have a
Yeah.
feeling they might have just took the money and run. Which is
Yeah.
a shame, because that demo was one of my most played games of 2025. It was incredible.
Same here, yeah. Yeah. Just the
I loved it,
roadmap
but the
would be nice. Like, I get stuff takes
Yeah.
time, but show us what you plan to do in the future. And
Yeah.
I think people would be less mad, but...
I
Oh,
think
well.
if they sold overpriced merchandise, everyone would be happy.
Yeah.
That would make them happy.
Yeah.
But
They need
anyway,
to
yeah,
keep
Castar
Willy
making
in
a
the
comeback
game.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly. Oh, yeah. How would you? What if Hellish Quart and I know there are different time periods and different tones, but
Right.
what if Willy from Hellish Quart made a crossover with Half Sword? What? No, he's from Half Sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I imagine him being a
Um,
longsworder if he were to be in this game.
Yeah, or maybe the pitchfork. That was a brutal
That would be
weapon.
cool,
Or
yeah.
the candlestick. Yeah. The thing is, if dynamic muscles would actually make sense on him, that could be his character mechanic. He has terrible dynamic muscles. And sometimes he'll have incredible attacks. Sometimes he can't be bothered. He'll just fall over.
Yeah. Nice exchange, but Castar seemed to be ahead that whole time.
Yeah, and making a comeback here, tying up the set 1-all. Very well played. And I think I'm going to get myself a chicken burger. I'll be right back.
Alright. Sounds delicious.
Thank you for the... Yeah.
I'm thinking of ordering some Persian cuisine myself a bit later today. That would be delicious. If you guys have not tried it, Middle Eastern cuisine, Turkish cuisine, like all of those are fantastic. If you like Indian, you'll like that a lot. It's not quite the same, but they use a lot of the same spices, so. And Middle Eastern cuisine especially, I think they've mastered the art of making something spicy but not hot, necessarily. Although there is hot food there too, but they do a great job with flavoring the food with spices. Indian cuisine does that a lot too, but they obviously have a lot of like spicy hot stuff going on too, which I like. I love that a lot, but it can be very hard in the stomach sometimes. Cannot eat that every day. Oak seems to be doing the reverse of what Castar was doing earlier, which sometimes happens between two evenly matched players. They figure something out in the midst of the fight and get an advantage. And somebody like Oak, when that happens, the momentum can feel overwhelming. So we've had a close fight, then we had Castar make an adjustment and instantly start making progress, but now Oak is doing the same thing. This could be a bad sign for Castar, but it's definitely not hopeless. Castar is more than capable of making it 2-2 if he happens to lose. They both are going for pushes, but whiffing there, and eventually the back Y for Castar. That shows you how evenly matched these two are, that they're both having to resort to stuff like pushing to try and get through each other's defenses. And sidesteps as well, those are always a good idea. A cut there, Oak just simply winning the trade because of hit location. And Oak needs one more. Sometimes that's all it is, it's literally just where you hit your opponent on the body. So the sword hand and the head are the best targets to hit. Everything else, you can kill easily from those targets, it's just a little bit more risky. The deeper the target, the harder it is to finish your opponent, essentially. Especially if it's the leg.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Low strikes can be very rewarding, but they're very risky, because you expose your head.
Yeah. And Castar hoping for a comeback here. I was mentioning that he's losing, but... Oh. Well. Not this round, I'm afraid. Oak is ahead now. Man, I gotta stop saying that because whenever I say that, the other guy loses. The Subutai
The
curse.
commentator's
Yeah,
curse.
yeah. People are calling it the Subutai curse now, but yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's just you. I do this all the time as well.
Yeah,
Say someone needs a comeback and then they don't get one. But yes, a change of fortunes here. Certainly
yeah,
in the favour of Oak. He shows why he was a former champion.
yeah,
Definitely putting the champion in former there. You know, emphasis on the champion part, not former.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice sidestep. It looked like Oak had an angle, but by moving to the side further, Castor was able to fix that. Nice exchange. Both of these characters are very dynamic, actually. Especially Yazek, I would say, but Samuel as well. Nice. Yeah, he got tired, and he dashed away, so he diminished his guard. I see why he dashed away, but unfortunately Oak just had the lead there in the exchange.
Well, you talk about how dynamic these characters are. After the boss, they're both very quick.
Yeah.
And we see there why leg swipes can be so dangerous.
Wow. Okay, there's a hit though for Castor. I knew somebody had to get hit at some point.
Nasty slash along the back.
Nice.
Ooh, follow up with a slash on the arm. That's the thing. Isn't it broadly agreed that Sam has one of the best auto guards in the game?
Yeah. 100%.
That's why we're seeing such long exchanges between the two. I know that's a bad example there, but we've seen no shortage of beautiful duels.
Yeah, and
Man, that
Yazek
was
has a good guard
precise.
himself, but that was really intelligent by Oak. He went for a deeper target and was able to hit past the guard as a result.
Yeah. Oh, and a nice whip round the head into the face there. He'll need some
Yeah.
dental after that.
Yeah, that's a pretty quick cut, but the wind-up beforehand really gives it some power. So,
You know, for a burn victim, he has a very nice beard.
that is true. Quite a bit of that hair is still present, too.
Yeah, he's got flame retardant hair, clearly.
Even his,
Maybe he oiled them.
I think his eyebrows are partially burned, though.
Oh, well, I mean, I'd rather lose. I can get a beard back, you can't get your eyebrows back.
Yeah. This is true. They both have taken a hit. Wow, Oak is able to rip that blade through the arm. That was brutal. And then there's a stab.
Absolutely. Devastation. And it appears Oak is primed to win this bout.
Yeah.
This set.
Good back and forth, and Oak just keeps his foot on the gas pedal, and although it's messy, he does win it.
All he needs, clearly.
Yeah. Alright, next, let's get you in here. I know you wanted an earlier fight. Unfortunately, a lot of other people also wanted one, so it had to be now, but
He wanted an earlier fight.
Time. Yeah.
Because now I'm powered up on a chicken burger with cheese and lettuce and mayo.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, chicken burgers are underrated. The connection is very nice today. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Oak. I honestly didn't do anything special. I just made a point to restart the router again before we started. Other than that, my setup is the same, so I'm glad it's working well. Alright. This is what I usually expect from my connection if all is working well. But obviously with the nature of the game and the nature of the connections, that's not always possible. Anyway, Bobo on the left, Nex on the right, and I'm assuming you both need keyboard?
Yep.
Or Nex needs controller, it looks like. Alright, cool.
I need keyboard though, that's for certain.
Yeah.
But for this bout, I will be silencing myself as not to give myself an advantage.
Yeah. That's fine. If you want me to kick you out of the call, I can do that quickly as well.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right.
All right. Mobile left, next right. Stream this on Twitch. Yeah, some people stream it on Twitch as well. I find Twitch, though, for some reason, it's harder to get the algorithm to notice you over there. We could experiment with multi-streaming down the road, though, since they allow that now. But the reason why I started with YouTube was because of that. Twitch does have some features that YouTube doesn't have, which is cool to experiment with. So I'm definitely not opposed to eventually beginning that. Okay, so next with Isabella, Plebeian says this is one of his favorite matchups in the game. And it definitely can be quite pleasing to look at. Isabella is a lot tighter, whereas Zera is more wild, but both can beat each other pretty handily. Just have to play Zera wisely. Oh, possible lag spike. That happens even if the connection is picture perfect. Unfortunately, Parsec can still run into those types of issues, especially if your connection is a little bit unstable for whatever reason. In this case, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just the distance sometimes results in lag spikes that cannot be helped. But thankfully they don't last very long, so... It's also possible that Bobo was eating, like taking a bite of his chicken burger in that moment and called for a pause, but I don't think so. Bobo is honorable, so he wouldn't do anything like that. Direct attempt there. Next needs one more, actually. And a reminder to Next that he is a contender for the champion belt as well, so if he does win, we will likely have him fight Maestro. Or, the other option is we could have Maestro challenge a beer, and have Next challenge the winner next stream. So those are the two options I will give Next. Typically we have the contenders just fight each other, but we can also guarantee, because he's a newer challenger, we can guarantee that he will get a chance at least to challenge the champion. We've done that before, so I don't mind that. Okay, let's switch sides. Yeah, so as far as stamina, you just have to watch for the blue indicator. And, yeah, as far as the matchup with Yazuk and Samuel, they both definitely have good guards. Nice hit. Big swing there, and there we go. That's a hit for next, or on to next, I should say, Bobo. Using that X cut beautifully. It's really slow, but it does have the ability to blade beat the opponent and power through the guard. That thrust, however, if somebody's actively defending, it's actually very tough to force that through sometimes. It's a very threatening move that requires a response by the opponent, but that response can be very intuitive. Big slash there, a little unfortunate. I actually thought Bobo was going to land that, but he got hit first, I guess, so maybe he got interrupted because of that. That is something you have to be wary of with Zera, is you can be caught on the windup and stunned out of your attack sometimes, depending on the timing of the attack. Other times you can win the trade because of that, because your blow comes later, but it is a risk that does exist in this matchup, that Isabella might be able to just beat you to the punch. High guard cut there, not quite landing, but a nice try to catch the opponent out there, but it does not quite work. Ooh, windmill there, and actually nice retreat X there by Bobo. Not able to kill him. Still a really intelligent sequence of moves there. Back wise by Bobo, a little bit desperate to keep the advantage. High guard lands because Bobo sidestepped there, and there we go, the follow-up by Nex. Nice placement there of the attack on the hand. A bit surprising it didn't kill outright, to be honest, the high guard attack, but the follow-up was smart. There's a hit to the head. One more needed for Nex. Nice blade beat, and then a hit, countering the thrust. That is the risk with the thrust, is that it's easy to blade beat. There's a ghost blade beat there. I don't know what happened there, but there's another blade beat. Repeated the same counter. Nicely done by Nex, and Nex needs one more. A lot of times that's preemptive too. It's not even that you're countering it per se, you're just throwing something out there, and your opponent happens to be thrusting at that time, so you end up countering it. So with Isabella in particular, it can be quite easy to block that. Plus, Isabella is the queen at fighting for the center, possibly the best at it in the whole game, so it's very easy for characters like Zera to lose in those sorts of situations. It's up to Zera to create some chaos, to sidestep, or to find better timing for the thrust, perhaps. But that's easier said than done. And there's two simple hits by Nex. I like that he's not overcomplicating it when the advantage is there, just going for a clean counter, as you should. Blade beat again, but not close enough this time to get a kill. And this time, Bobo, with awkward timing with his attacks, is able to force that stab in there, and follows it up beautifully with a windmill. And Bobo definitely is on the ropes, but he's not out of it yet. Goes low, and that opens him right up to the repeated Y cuts. Bobo has to watch his distance management a little bit. Ooh, and this time again, the thrust is instantly blade beat. It seems like when Nex is prepared, stabbing is just not a good idea. I get why Bobo is doing it to try forcing an opening, but it appears that it is not working the way he intended. Ooh, he backed wide out of it this time. That was smart. Trying to set up a trap, I think, with the stab. Of course, if he hits with the stab, all the better. But he was setting up a trap as well. And this time, Bobo was too close, I think, to land that. So it looked messy, but Nex was nevertheless in the right distance to counter. Back Y is instantly punished there. Nice by Nex. And Nex needs 2 more. Whereas Bobo needs 6 more. There we go. There's one for Bobo. Bobo's definitely not giving up. Love to see it. Possible leg spike. It should wear off though. Nice. Usually it does. Nice blade beat into a block stun, and then Bobo lands the follow-up. Best way out of that is to press back and try some retreating attack, but Isabella might not be able to do that in time. It also depends on the range. If you're too close anyway, you're probably still gonna get hit. It's rather situational. If you are hit properly by that attack, you're very often in trouble. Ooh, out of measure a little bit there by Bobo, and then countered nicely by Next. Next need one more. Probably gonna look to keep it clean like that. Bobo need to change something. There we go. The stab this time does connect. Bobo very determined to make that work, and it allows him to get momentum back on his side. So that was really nicely done. Side step there. Bobo landing a quick stab to the face. It looks like the awkward timing when his opponent was not prepared for it allowed those stabs to work. Oh, it has to be said that first one was a little bit naked. It could have easily been countered, but luckily for Bobo, it was not. Blade beat there. Bit of a punish. And Bobo is back against the wall, but this thrust here punishing the whiff. Nice by Bobo. Relying on these stabs to get out of that corner and to get momentum back on his side. It is definitely not over. Bobo probably going to look for that quick kill shot. But does he find it? He does not. He whiffed it completely. But it was a nice try all the same by Bobo. Next was able to win. Alright, Captain Adler against Togoshi now. Oh, and Bobo left the parsec. Gonna keep the dinner. Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Okay, they're both here. Excellent. Captain Adler joined a bit late, like some of the others, so I was a little concerned making this particular matchup. The experience gap is a little bit big. Captain Adler is another one of those rising star players, but again, if I put him against Castar or something, it'd be like the same match all over again. We've done that matchup so many times, so I need to change it up, but also give people who are missing a fight. So Togoshi ended up getting this one in the end. But again, these fights have all been really high quality, so I'm not by any means suggesting that Togoshi cannot give us a good performance. He absolutely can, especially if he locks in. So let's see it. Captain Adler left, Togoshi on the right. If you need keyboard, yell at me, because I actually don't know if you need keyboard. Looks like your gamepad. Cool. Should just be able to select then. Laszlo by Captain Adler. A little bit of a surprising pick there. Although he has experimented with Laszlo before, but I'd say it's not really his main. He's definitely not clueless with Laszlo. And ooh, the retreat attacks there by Captain Adler to get out of that punch. Denise probably has the advantage here, but Laszlo at least benefits from fast footsies himself, particularly linearly speaking, so it is not impossible for him to keep up in that regard. But Denise is probably the strongest character in the game, so this could be a tough one for Laszlo. The grab attempt is immediately punished. I used to be a Denise main, and so far Togoshi is doing a great job with him. Keeping it simple, of course, but his footsies game is really good. And there we go. A little too zealous on the counter, which is a very easy mistake to make with any character. Saw the first attack and parried it, so he thought he had a chance to attack again, but it wasn't quite true. Ooh, yeah. Hitting the block there, and Togoshi was able to counter this time. With a horizontal cut to the arm. That is something that Laszlo has to watch out for in this matchup, is these horizontal cuts are almost designed to deal with a character like Laszlo. They hit the arm so easily. Laszlo doesn't have a good auto guard to begin with, of course, because his thing is the fast footsies game, but even more so the case against a cut like that. Nice. Togoshi keeping range, which is also smart. Good sidestep at the thrust, but doesn't quite reach Laszlo. Laszlo is actually very fast in the retreat, so Captain Adler was able to make good use of that. But, ooh, dangerous there by both of them. Long guard. Looks like he's setting something up. Big flash, and Captain Adler with a beautiful counter. I like that Captain Adler was cautious when he saw that long guard. He was like, what special move is Denise gonna try here? And thankfully he was ready with the counter. Big splashes. Head bobbing. Ooh, thrust attempt, but it was beat down. Nicely done. The thrust was an intelligent idea, but I think the timing was just not there. Good hit to the arm, though, and managing to avoid being punished. That is a horrific wound on his back, though, as he manages to stab the body. Good usage of the stabs to force his way past the auto guard. Played away there by Captain Adler, a bit of taunting on his part. That wide cut that does not land, but the X cut seems to be a pretty good way to pressure Denise, so that was good. And it's a good retreating move. Might actually be better than the back Y in this particular matchup. The thrust is not able to connect, but ooh, it looked like Captain Adler might have been able to recover. That is Laszlo's foot speed in action, but Togoshi able to catch him with that wide swing. Nice counter there, but not able to get the kill. Captain Adler setting up a lot of good opportunities, but Denise is really tanky. He has a really high HP pool for some reason. The game will tell you that his HP is average, but if you look at the hits he's taking, he clearly has some kind of HP bug, so he actually tanks a lot of hits that he probably shouldn't be tanking, but that's just how it is. Nevertheless, the experience allows Captain Adler to make this a fight, despite the discrepancy in characters. Nice usage of the sidestep there to apply some pressure, but Togoshi just went forward and hit the head anyway, so it was a double. It was still a really intelligent try, I think, by Captain Adler, aiming at the weak of the blade. And Togoshi a bit on the defensive now, and that stab is deflected. You especially don't want to throw that stab so close. Alex closes the distance deceptively quickly, to be fair, though, so I doubt Captain Adler expected it to be launched by the time that Denise was point blank. Togoshi forcing the trade there, and does win the first round. As for what's going to happen after this fight, I would normally get BK to fight, but I have not heard a thing from him this whole time, so I don't know if he's around or not. We might We'll either do Nex against Maestro, or we might just get Maestro to take priority and fight it here. Or, if Nex wants, we could also even have Nex fight first. We have a lot of options as far as how we can tackle that, and we could get Maestro to fight the champion next week. Tarnowski has a much easier time in this matchup. But Denise, I would say, still has the edge. Ooh, nice. Ooh, nice. Big slash there. Togoshi making this a fight as I was hoping for. A lot of the newer players are really proving to be prodigies lately. It's like we're seeing another generation of greats slowly getting better, and now they're challenging some really decorated players and even beating them. The competition, like I've said before, this has been true since like 2025, even 2024. Like the competition was steadily, I think, getting better. It used to be that veteran players would just immediately destroy newer players, but a lot of the newer players are benefiting from the wisdom that's been accumulated over time, I think. And a lot of them are more likely to at least have experience fighting the AI now, and experience with the game one way or another. So that's really helping them, I think, improve at a faster rate than previous generations of new players. And Togoshi needs one more. Denise, in his hands, is clearly a monster. Even Tarna is not able to do much so far, but Captain Adler not giving up. That's a trade, but nobody actually dies from that. That goes to show how good Denise's HP is to handle a hit from Tarna like that. And still fight on, throw a flurry of cuts just like that. Nice by Togoshi though, very intelligent selection of moves that allows him to pressure his opponent. And now, Captain Adler will really need to change something. Or Togoshi might just win it, which would be a little bit of an upset, but Togoshi has definitely proven that he deserves it so far, if he does win it. Isabella, a pretty good choice. This can be 50-50 against Denise. I still tend to say Denise is stronger, but perhaps if any character is going to do it, it's going to be Isabella. Especially if Captain Adler figures out how to do it. And there is a way to win this, for sure. But he does have to find it. And there we go, retreat Y. Using Isabella's range. And the taunts as well, I like to see it. But his opponent knows about the taunts, evidently. Judging by the taunts he is also throwing. Don't want to spam them too much, though. Otherwise, you're just leaving an opening for your opponent. Double. Good usage of the upcut, but he does get hit in the head anyway. Upcuts tend to be a good idea. Thrust to the hand, but not able to secure the kill. Captain Adler was knocked away from Denise. There we go, he's tired. Yep, and he follows it up. That was what he needed. Togoshi with long guard there. Perhaps trying to set something up. Long guard combo still blocks the follow-up. That was a good try though for Captain Adler to try hitting the head. But Denise is able to block. Nice hit to the arm. Good exchange. Retreat. Wow, that was cinematic. But Togoshi was able to dodge that stab with that retreat Y. Rather underrated move that Denise has. Ooh, he's really going on the offensive. Captain Adler getting tired. Wow. Yeah, that's what Denise can do. He can just walk you down. And Togoshi doing that masterfully, it has to be said. You still have to select the right attacks. If you don't do that, Denise can easily be killed. So, just like any other character. So, I have to give props there. He knows, like, what attacks do what. There are some pointers I could give him as a Denise main to be even better, but I'm not gonna obviously give them in the middle of the fight. I don't play Denise a lot anymore as I think he's too strong. I don't think the game's particularly fun when you play him, but that's just my opinion. I think Barabash is a lot more of my style for starters. A lot more my style and a lot more fun, more balanced. But it's also a personal thing. Denise has a great moveset. I think if he's balanced properly, I might come back to him, but for now, I tend to steer away personally. But if you find him to be fun, by all means, he is in the game. He is perfectly fair to use. And he's not a win button. You still gotta use him well, as Captain Adler is demonstrating with that stab to the body. Blade beat, but not able to follow it up just yet. Maybe, I don't want to say it out loud, but I think there might be a way to follow that up. Some people might know what I'm thinking of already, but he does not find it. Ooh, sidestep. Thrust. Yeah, Captain Adler's trying to keep it clean here, and that's really smart, using the point there this time to land a clean stab to the face. That is one way to hit Denise. Very good find by Captain Adler to solve this matchup. He's actually using Long Guard a lot to try and bait these blade beats in and try to get a punish, which is nice. And perfect, the retreat thrust to the face. And I mean, if Denise is beating you in the brawls, I mean, you gotta use spacing to stop him in his tracks. So, well done by Captain Adler adjusting on the fly and able to keep distance, use the longer reach of his weapon to his advantage. Isabella will not outpace Denise with speed, especially not foot speed, so you have to make use of the range that your weapon has to compensate for that. Yan this time by Togoshi. Yan is a pretty good choice in this matchup as well. Don't know how familiar he is with Yan, but I'd say Yan is also an S tier character. Maybe not nearly as strong as Denise, but he is very versatile. And the switch in style might be just enough to throw Captain Adler off. We'll see. And as far as Isabella against Yan, it's another one of those 50-50 matchups that can go either way. Ooh. Just a flurry of cuts by Togoshi. He's very aggressive, and actually it works pretty well. Ooh, cut to the head. Instantly goes for the YY. Captain Adler getting a bit too close to that saber, I think, and it's making it really tough to defend against that move. And he just goes in. This unhinged aggression is really throwing Captain Adler off. He has to change something or it will be over. Ooh, the sidestep is a little bit too slow. Probably not the move I would pick. But I see why. I see what he was going for, but it's a little bit too slow. And actually, Yan is proving to be a lot tougher. Togoshi waiting for his moment to get in. That punch nearly landed. I'm sure Captain Adler's breathing a sigh of relief as those punches have been nasty. There's a stab, but no kill. Captain Adler trying to keep distance, but there's the blade beat, and will he finish it? The YY does not reach. It kind of glitched out a little bit, but Captain Adler also did the right thing by backing up, so I have to give credit where credit's due. A cut there. There's a hit by Captain Adler, but his opponent is determined to just finish it right here. This time he does not manage. The sidestep is countered beautifully by Captain Adler. There was a lot of pressure on Captain Adler to stay in this fight. Ooh, yeah, back A. It is not going to be so simple now to walk him down. He is going to fight like a caged animal to kill Togoshi. So Togoshi might have to reassess a little bit. It was working, but Captain Adler has locked in. Nice taunt there. Intelligent by Captain Adler. He does not land the second hit somehow. It looked like he had him, but he is definitely gassed a little bit. He thrusted the YY. It does not land. I am surprised it did not land. That was from so close, but something went wrong with it. YY again. The retreat cut. He does get nicked, but there's definitely a more solid hit for Captain Adler. Togoshi is still looking to finish this fight, but he's maybe getting a little bit frustrated. And it's not quite working. Nice usage of long guard, by the way, by Captain Adler. Not as a way to counter thrust necessarily, although it is a nice preemptive measure to do that, but as an offensive way to bypass the auto guard and prevent his opponent from just walking him down. Yeah, it's definitely not over yet. And Captain Adler's figured out the way to stop this walk down strategy. Ooh, that sidestep is slow. But I'm sure there's still a lot of pressure. Oh, and the punch to the face. This time it was a bit of a cross there, not a jab. And Togoshi got it. So, I mean, it's not a sword fight, like I say. It's a fight with swords. So that is totally fair game. You use every tool that you have, including your punches. So that's how I view grabs and stuff like that. It's not a sword fight. It's just a fight that swords happen to be present in. And that's how you should approach a fight to the death. But still, Captain Adler did great trying to adapt to that. It's just that I don't think he did so in time at the end of the day. So, but a great try. Okay. I don't think BK is around. So I think we will just skip to the champion fight. I'm gonna ask the fighters how they want to approach this. If Next doesn't show up, he still won his fight, so we will have him fight next week, of course, but I just want to see if Next has a preference at all. If he's not here, then obviously we can't have you two fight, and I'm not gonna make him lose by default. That'd be strangely corrupt after he's worked so hard, so I'm not gonna make him do it, lose the second fight by default if he does not want to do one or he's not available. Yeah, I can give you some tips, Togoshi. I didn't want to do it in the middle of the fight just because, but yeah, if you want some tips, I can certainly provide them. Rubbish, thinking of picking this one up. More accessible in half sword. Love half sword. Yeah, it is, I would say, in a lot of ways. Love to have you. We have a Discord link in the description. If it's dead for some reason, which sometimes happens, you can just look up Hellish Quart PvP and you can find us. You don't even need the game actually to play with us. We play through Parsec, so if you want to test the game out before buying it, our server is a great way to do that. Okay, Nex is not responding. I think we'll just have Maestro fight a beer then, and we'll end it like that, unless Nex wants to yell at me and get his fight over with or something. But I think we'll just give Nex the title fight next week. Yeah, I think we'll do it that way. That seems cool with Maestro, so. MacBook Pro for that. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you can. Not a Mac user, I'm afraid. Pretty sure you can, though. A lot of people in the chat. Yeah, so I don't think EU host is available, Abir, and I'm sorry about that, but my host has been working very well. For everybody so far, I have had 0 complaints about lag, which is new. So thankfully my setup is working as it should now. But like I said, we'll explore options if we need to, for sure. I don't mind. Just keep in mind Maestro is from North America as well, so I don't want to force him to fight on an EU host if we don't have to. Better to pick something that's like sort of in between. You know it's not me. Yeah, I know. Distance kind of adds a stressor to it if your connection for some reason is not. I won't say it's bad, but it's not like robust or it's not like stupid fast or something like that. Unfortunately, distance takes its toll. Even if your connection is otherwise good enough to do stuff like gaming. Remember when you were a young kid like knee height? Glad to see you're streaming. Yep, appreciate it. Oh yeah, touch tips, guys. I didn't announce the. Okay. I think Maestro remembered, but Abir did not. Okay, I was looking at the chat, but my apologies for that. But on the left, we have Abir, the current USFC champion. So far, has been destroying the competition. He is a rising prospect, and as a Barabash main myself, I can confirm he's one of the fastest Barabashes on the server and the best. But on the right, we have somebody who's also risen the promise of an old veteran, that being Maestro. He is a monster of Zera, smiting his foes up till now, and he plans to smite Abir here and now, the rogue that he is. Fight dirty, fight clean, you guys may begin. You guys may begin. As soon as I say begin, you guys can start swinging. So if somebody doesn't get it, it's on them. But they're honorable. I appreciate that by both of them. As far as Hellish Quart tomorrow, probably not. Somebody else can, of course. There's nothing stopping them from doing it, but I'm not gonna host anything that day. Typically Saturday is like prime time for USFC. But there is usually a weekly event as well, somewhere in a weekday. I know that's not always good, especially for North American players, but I know because I'm currently on a regular work schedule, so I often can't attend them, but they are there. For those who are in North America, though, we encourage more North American hosts. We need more of them. A lot of European guys out there hosting, and that's awesome, but a lot of us North American players would probably appreciate a weekly event that's that takes place at a workable time. So if you're interested, even if you're a newer player, because you gotta start somewhere, and you've got a good connection and whatnot, let us know and we can help you figure out how to make that happen. Okay, Maestro is going bananas so far with Zera. A cut there. That's actually really smart, by the way. He's cutting in the direction of the sidestep, so even if a beer steps to the side, it will not work. That is one thing with characters that have big movements, cover a lot of space. They might look slow, but they hit deeper targets and they cover a lot more area. So it can be harder to avoid them, despite the fact that they're slower. Especially if they're throwing at awkward timing like Maestro is. Maestro just going bananas with Zera's attacks, and it's impossible for a beer to cleanly get hidden. And there we go, a beer did something and moved forward, it looks like. So Maestro got the first one, and he's probably going to keep his foot on the gas pedal. But I have to say, he does so in a way that's not so reckless like we saw earlier. There's a method to the madness. He's ready to track a beer if a beer tries sidestepping, which often Barbash wants to do. He doesn't really want to brawl with Zera. He wants to make use of his speed, but so far it's not so simple. Nice. Yeah, that would be cool, Rubbish, if you can set that up. Okay, we're already on to the second round here, as a beer managed to score a flag. No lag party from your Wi-Fi. That's good to hear, because you're pretty far from me. So that's good. Obviously, some lag spikes. I'm sure a little bit of delay, stuff like that, but nothing terrible. So that's good. Maestro with the upcut. Ooh, back Y. Maestro catching a beer as he goes low. I was finding that cut's pretty risky on Zera as well. And I was playing Barabat. I'm not surprised. A beer actually manages to land a hit there. That was a good try by Maestro, though. Push attempt by a beer does the SWAT cut. Cuts override pushes, by the way. That's why that push didn't work. So it actually makes a lot of sense. Just to simulate the fact that trying to push somebody who's in the middle of cutting is probably not a good idea. And a lot of fighting games do that too, like attack beats, guard breaks and stuff like that. So you can think of it that way as well. Meanwhile, guarding is not so good against a push. But guarding in turn will defeat attacks, as will active defense as well with cuts, because this game is physics-based. That's the beauty of it, is that you can take advantage of the nature of your attack, the timing, the spacing, the angle, to do a lot of creative stuff that you can't do in a lot of other fighting games. Sidestep by a beer, that was beautiful, and he also cancelled it. But it was a legitimate hit, even if it was forced to go there, it would have still hit perfectly. So the fact that it was cancelled made essentially no difference there. And a beer is looking to make it 1-1. Back Y, forcing the double. Maestro has to lock in. Got pinged a bit there. I'll check it out on the phone. Oh, BK's concerned that he missed his fight. That's okay. Obviously, it's ideal when people show up, but I don't hate you for not showing up. I'm sure you have your reasons. It's all good. No harm done. It's just that we had to get straight to the champion fight is all. It's just for efficiency's sake that I moved on. It's not anything more than that. So I can't promise that you'll get a fight, but if you want to stick around after the champion fight, we might be able to get somebody for you. For now, we're just in the middle of the champion fight though, so... Yeah, but by all means, if you want to stick around and get a fight, I'm not against that. Nice hit. Currently 1-1, and this round is actually mirroring that as well. These two have been evenly matched. Ooh, a bit of a whiff by Maestro, and the wind-up is a little bit too slow to compensate. Nex is up next, actually, because he had the 3-win streak before Oak. So Nex is gonna take priority over Oak in that case, but Oak would be, like, after him in that case, if he's a contender. Yeah, so Nex didn't get a chance to fight today because he wasn't available for the champion belt, but he got his 3-win streak anyway, so... In fact, he might even be on a 4-win streak right now. I don't know, but regardless, he is a contender, and he definitely earned it, so... Ooh, a beer with his foot on the gas pedal, and he's now able to get an advantage on Maestro. Maestro an upcut. Definitely doesn't want to lose it so easily. Sidesteps by Maestro, but that whiff was dangerous. That could have been a beer's kill, but a beer did not capitalize in time. It happened so fast, so Abir was probably thinking, oh, they both went for leg cuts, but Zera has much more powerful leg cuts, certainly. I don't know if it's better per se, but they are longer range and more powerful. Upcut, and yeah, the trade there did not work out because Abir hit a deeper target that was more vital. Down to the wire, there's an upcut. Maestro really trying to catch a beer out here. It's definitely not so clear who's gonna win. Maestro not wanting to overextend, keeping range, and a beer's trying to get close. There's the thrust, makes it in there, and a beer only getting a grazing hit, so it was not enough to kill. Maestro about to win this if he wins one more. But it all hinges on that. Abir is still more than capable, as we have seen, to make this 2-2, and then to potentially maintain momentum and get that lead and win the whole thing and keep his champion title. Abir selected Barabash. I think he was just trying to select the skin and something went wrong there, but eventually does manage it after clicking off, which is good. Big move by Maestro. Abir not capitalizing on that. And I think Abir might be beating himself up a little bit over that, which is, you know, that happens. I've had moments like that too, where it's like, oh shit, I could have punished that, but for some reason you're too slow, you're not thinking about it at the time, and it is what it is. It happens to the best of us. Pushed by Maestro, Maestro able to get momentum back. He'll sometimes do that. Out of nowhere, he'll just dash towards you and try to get a quick kill one way or another. And it's not always a push that he'll dash in with. He'll sometimes push in with an upcut like that or something other than the push. So that was a really good way to push the pace and then get Abir off balance, which is super important, I think, this late in the fight. That Maestro get momentum back on his side so he can secure that win. Abir cannot allow that to happen, as Maestro is now getting a little bit tired. Abir trying to get through that sword, but you cannot brute force through the strong of a longsword blade. That will not work. I get why he was doing it. It happens to the best of us, but unfortunately Maestro was in the right position to stop that. And perfect switch up by Maestro to hit the hand after getting him to block high. Masterful Zera gameplay so far. Possibly the best we've seen today. And that's saying something, because Plebeian was doing great with Zera as well, and as was Bobo actually. We've seen quite a few good Zeras today, but Maestro did something else. Abir not willing to let this go unpunished though. Ooh, Abir got a little bit flat-footed there and was not able to capitalize on that punch for some reason. The punch was kind of unfortunate. That's an issue Vara has and a lot of other characters sometimes have. But Maestro nevertheless was prepared to cut him, so it would have been a double at best, I think. It was a messy situation all around that Maestro managed to get the better end of, and these things do happen. Ooh, Maestro parried that first cut, and that allowed him to land the second one. And he did it with an attack, too, so that was really cool. So that's one way in which, by pushing the pace, Maestro was actually able to strengthen his defense and get a hit of his own in. Oh, and Maestro dashed into that cut. That was a little bit of a mistake, and this might cost him. So late in the match, Abir can still make it 2-2. Maestro with the sidestep of Abir, not quite close enough to counter, I would say. Ooh, and Abir tries to punish that. Maestro a little bit tired, but he does get away without being hit. And Abir really does not want to give this flag up. He cannot afford to. Ooh, and Maestro probably trying to set something up. But nobody's able to land anything yet. This is really intense. Abir wants that hand snipe, but it is not happening. They both go for a sidestep, and Abir is a little bit quicker on the draw with his sidestep, so he's able to hit Maestro first. And it's still a game, folks. This is, what more can you ask for? It is not over. These are the best finals when they come down to literally the next round, the last round. And you know what? I would not be surprised if it came down to the last flag. Would not be surprised at all. Would love to see it too. Staying locked in this whole time is not easy either. So the mental aspect will start to matter a lot. Maestro, a good tempo switch there, but Abir was able to counter it. They both trade, and Abir got the worst end of that, I think. Although neither wants to take a hit now. Maestro with a perfect usage of that thrust. Getting really close to his opponent and making sure that blade is no longer a threat first before launching that deep shot. Ooh, blocked it. And switches up the timing again, but Abir is able to also swing in between, so it is a double. Upcut by Maestro, deflecting that sidestep. Neither opponent got hit, but then that back Y by Maestro. Sometimes you can punish the back Y with a B cut, but it all depends on the timing. If Maestro is precise with his timing, he can punish the punish attempt there with the B cut. So much of this is about timing. And there we go, another one by Maestro. Back X was a nice try by Maestro, not quite landing, but staying out of danger all the same. It was a really good move to use here. The YY by a beer, but it only gets a grazing hit. Yeah, against Zera, you do not want to try and force a brawl like that. It will not tend to go well. Even though he got a hit for his trouble, Maestro nearly punished him. Ooh, and the thrust there at the wrong time, I would say, and the beer was able to sidestep. But Maestro forcing a cut in there as a beer twitched. It looks like he was doing something. He was probably waiting. And there we go, another one as a beer moves right into that sword. And there goes the hand. The hand is popped right off. Big slash there. A beer went for a push, which was precisely the wrong move in that moment, unfortunately. Maestro going apeshit. But a beer gets a kill of his own. Also, great combo by Maestro. It was like a manual combo with the X cut and the B cut. Not a true combo, but all the same. A beer was not ready because he had devoted his input to the push. A beer is able to counter the sidestep. He was probably really concerned about that move, because it often block stuns you and beats your blade. B cut by Maestro. Maestro really applying some pressure. There's a push out of measure, but actually moving back against Zera sometimes is not the play, because the blade is longer. And so a beer actually probably would have been better off if he had stood still, or if he had moved in, but he did not. He moved back, which is understandable. That's a very human reaction, and against a lot of characters in a lot of situations, that is a good idea. But in this case, it just so happened that Maestro was primed to hit him, and we was able to follow it up beautifully. So Maestro takes it, but it was an intense back and forth. Beer gave it his all, but it just wasn't quite enough. GG's, guys. GG's. And unfortunately, a beer has lost his champion belt, but Maestro definitely earned it. If the fighters want to speak, they do have that option as usual, but otherwise I will probably end the stream right here. What else? Is BK around? Can't speak? That's okay. We'll see if he's around, otherwise we will probably end it. Because he did talk, he was sorry that he missed his fight, so I might give him a chance. If somebody wants to, yeah. I'll see if he wants to fight or not. Preferably somebody who lost, by the way. And no, it won't be a beer. It will not be a beer, I'm afraid. He's had his shot at defending his title. I don't want to give him a start to his win streak. And that's not like biased against the beer or anything like that, but preferably somebody who lost today if possible. Like Castar, we can do Bobo, Captain Adler, Grid Square, Pico. Yeah, sorry about that, BK. We had a fight lined up for you earlier, but yeah, since you didn't show up for one reason or another, which is all good. I'm not mad about that, of course, but it looks like we're not able to get you a fight after all. So, yeah, really sorry about that. Usually we get everybody a fight regardless, but it looks like nobody is around. Oh, is Clemino wanting to fight? Um, the thing is you have a win. I don't really want. Alright, we can, but alright, well looks like BK wants to, so let's do it. Oh wait, no, Clemino. Yeah, this should work fine actually. No, let's do it. Let's do it. But then for real, I'll end the stream after that. We made very good time, by the way. Usually USFC lasts about 3 hours, and it'll be about 3 hours by the time this one's done, so. We didn't have many technical issues, we just pushed right through at breakneck speed. BK needs keyboard, I believe, if I remember correctly. I know Clemino also does. Alright, BK, I'll give you the left side to start. And Clemino on the right. Click the screen if it's not working. BK, you're on the left. Cool. Marina against Jan. Nice. Nice exchange to start off the fight. Ooh, a bunch of cuts though as it gets messy by Clemino. And that shield saves him. Nice. Ooh, a double. Nice. Another hit. Clemino just dominating the opponent. Sorry, I was looking at chat and stuff. But it's not over yet. Okay, they switched characters at this point. Clamino gone with Samuel against BK's Denise. Now, Denise typically has the advantage over Samuel. No surprise, Denise being the strongest character in the game. But like I've said before, use not a win button. If you're smart with your shot placement with Samuel, you can certainly still win. And Samuel does have a few tools up his sleeve, especially with his recent buff. And BK is a little bit out of practice by his own admission. So yeah, stuff like this leg cut, sidestep, it might be very good. Still got the double there. Ooh, big cut there by Clamino. That X cut actually packs a punch, so he might be able to dominate some space with that and even win some trades. In the right situation. You don't want to trade with Alex a lot if you can avoid it, but there might be some situations where that cut will win out over some of the faster cuts that Denise has. But it depends on the cut. Denise's damage is pretty insane. Ooh, nice retreat cut there. Not able to kill, but it is still some damage. Any chip damage in this game is good because not only does it lower the HP on that body part, but it also lowers your stamina pool. So it's essentially a permanent injury for the entire duration of that flag. And when your stamina goes down, your ability to defend yourself goes down, and your ability to even dish out damage goes down. To simulate the fact that you're losing blood, you're in pain, you're sort of getting exhausted, that type of thing. Clamino is able to secure it, and Clamino needs one more. Surgical by Clamino. BK is not done yet. You got one more round at least, BK, if you can join back. Yeah, best of 5, I'm afraid, not best of 3. Unless you want to forfeit, I guess, but hopefully not. Paying him as well to make sure he gets it. Hopefully he's able to rejoin. Do we always do BO3 on when it's 18 plus? No, it's always best of 5. Yeah, USFC anyway is always best of 5. It's the other tournament formats where they play with that. Usually it's best of 3 anyway in those types of events, but the USFC is kind of unique as far as the best of 5 thing. But it's one of the charms of the event that we can get away with that without spending so much time. BK is not responding. I did ping him. Okay, well I'm not gonna wait that much longer. If he's not here, he's not here. But that's a shame. Give him another minute. Regardless though, appreciate all of you guys who showed up for the event. It was one of the best USFCs I've had in a long time. And that's saying something because we've had some good ones, but this one in particular was really good. We didn't have so many technical issues. Um, the fights were all great, and I think that's a big part of why is that the connection was so good. Everybody was able to fight at their best for the most part. So every single person should be happy of how they did here today. I don't think there's anybody who did poorly. BK obviously new, relatively new, just because it's been a long time since he's played, but that's all good. Clemino, on the other hand, was warmed up from the fierce competition, so he was able to dominate a little bit there. But I think I'll end the stream then, since BK is not even responding. Thank you everybody for competing. I'll give Clemino the win. And unless BK yells at me very soon, I will see you next time.